Yes, tonight I thought that I would share a bit about the 9-9 portal that we've got coming up. Every year we have an energy portal on the 9th of September, or the 9th of the 9th. And I'm pretty sure I didn't talk about this one last year when I was doing my series of Facebook Lives. But I'm feeling really compelled to talk about this one this year. It feels very relevant for us. There's lots of energy that we can really work with quite consciously on this 9-9 energy, and some that you might already be feeling and being aware of. So it might, you might have some ahas with this energy at present. So we actually have a series of energy portals that we experience every year. So we do have other ones that just pop up for different years that, it might just be one-offs, or ones that we experience only every so many years. But we do have a series of energy portals that we experience annually. We experience them every year. And that is, they always start with our 8-8 or our Lionsgate energy portal, which we experience in August. So that one's already been. And then we actually have the 9-9 energy portal we experience every year. We have a 10-10 energy portal, which is in October. We have an 11-11 in November, and we have a 12-12 in December. So essentially every month from August onwards, we experience an energy portal, which has its own individual themes and focuses for each individual one. So it's not like it's the same energy that we're experiencing again and again. They actually hold different energy for each one of those portals. And if you know about the Lionsgate and maybe caught my Facebook Live I did last month, the Lionsgate is a very powerful energy. We really get showered with a lot of energy that kind of pours down on us, helps raise our vibration, and opens us on many levels. It tends to be quite a profound energy portal, and probably is the one that gets talked about the most out of all of our energy portals we experienced. Probably the 9-9 is one of the least talked about ones, and maybe that's part of the reason why I'm being really called to talk about it this year. But my guides have certainly, especially the last few days, been really jumping on me about talking about this one. So we experienced it on the 9th of September, and it's really strong 9 energy that comes through in September. And this 9 energy is really focused on releasing. So there's a lot of clearing, a lot of releasement, a lot of letting go, a lot of healing that gets done around this 9-9 energy. So you might already have started feeling this energy coming through, as in, because we always have a build up to these energy portals, and we are in September now, and what is it, like a week or just under a week until the 9th. So you might already have buttons being pushed at the moment, which is universe's way of kind of highlighting some of the stuff you might need to actually consciously look at, that might need to be released, healed, looked at in some way, so that we can do some healing and some letting go around whatever it is, those themes, those buttons that are being pushed. So it's really good to be very conscious at the energy portal itself. So on the 9th of September itself, whether you're in Australia or you're in Scotland or wherever you are in the world, on the 9th, that's when that energy is going to be the most potent for you. So it's really good if you can take some time on that day to actually do some conscious releasement. Now look, this could be, there's many different ways we can work with this energy, and it's going to depend how you're feeling called to work with that energy. And if you're finding there's lots of stuff that's kind of being pushed and that you're feeling really quite battered and bruised, you might already start working with that now and start to do some of the work now. So you can kind of, I guess, almost like finalize it on the 9th, or kind of do maybe a last ritual or spell or a meditation or a something to help with that final releasement on the 9th itself. But we can do all kinds of things. So I'm going to give you a few suggestions that you might want to work with on the 9th or in the lead up to the 9th. So you might want to do something like, perhaps if you have a bath at home, create a beautiful bath that you can soak in. You could do all kinds of things, like perhaps do some journal writing or a meditation or something like that in the lead up to that bath. But in that bath, it's like with your intent of just soaking and really relaxing and letting go and releasing whatever it is. So that when you're hopping out of the bath, your intent is, as you pull the plug, you can watch whatever it is that you've released that's been absorbed by that water going down the drain and being gone for good. If you don't have a bath, you might want to do something like that in the shower. And in the shower, we can visualize like beautiful golden light coming down with the shower, and it's kind of really doing beautiful cleansing all the way through us and helping us to release, and all of that being released and going down the plug hole once again. So that can be a really conscious way to do some cleansing. You might want to do something like a burning ritual. I'm a big one for doing journal writing. I love to write in my journal, and that's a great, really, it's a beautiful way to be able to get down what's in your head and let it go, so it's not, bopping around in your head continuously. So you might want to do some journal writing, or just write on some paper that you're happy to be able to burn, and do a little burning ritual where you actually burn those pages. Perhaps if there's somebody that's been really frustrating you, you could write all your feelings and your thoughts about all of that, pour it out onto the paper, and then call in divinity and burn that piece of paper and ask them to assist you with clearing those ties, clearing that karma, and being able to let go of whatever it is that's going on between you and that person, or with you and that situation, to help release that and let it go. So that can be, I find, a really powerful way to do some releasement. You might also feel called maybe to go on a nice walk. Walking and going on walks, and just, that can be a great way to clear things as well, to clear the air, to clear our head. And while you're on that walk, perhaps see if you can find a stone. It doesn't matter, and I'm not suggesting a crystal, but any kind of stone on your walk that kind of calls to you, where you can charge up that stone as you're walking with any of those thoughts and emotions and things that maybe is going on in your life that you really are like, I need to release this, I need to find a way to let this go. So, find a stone on your walk, hold it while you're going for your walk, kind of channel any of that energy into the stone itself. And then you want to release that stone in some way, so it's not something to keep after you've filled it with all of that kind of energy. If you're near a natural water source, you can maybe throw it. So, throw it out into the sea, throw it out into a river, if you're near something like that. If not, otherwise, another idea is to perhaps bury it, because the earth is really great at transmuting negative energy on our behalf. If you do decide to bury it, I suggest not to bury it in your yard or on your own property. You really want to try and, take it somewhere where you can kind of dig a little hole, bury it, and be able to walk away and feel like you're actually disconnecting and releasing yourself from that energy. So if you kind of bury it at home, you're more, yes, the earth will transmute it, but you're kind of like, more planting it where you are, rather than being able to walk away from it. But that can be a really effective way of doing some releasement. I've used that before and it's worked really well. You can also charge up something like a candle and do some releasement through some candle work. Similar kind of way with your stone, where we charge it up with all of those thoughts and intent and everything that's kind of churning around and going on. And then instead we set this up on our altar, and you can light that and call in divinity once again to help you with this releasement and clearing whatever the ties are, whatever the energy is, whatever it is, to understand the lesson and to be able to help clear it and release it and kind of bring it to an end if it needs to come to an end. So that can be really powerful. If you do work with a candle, you really want to let the candle burn all the way out. If there's any wax left, I always like to do a little bit of scrying in the wax, see if there's any kind of symbols that you can see in the wax, because that will often give you added messages about maybe how the spell went, or what that lesson might be connected to, or maybe what the next step for you might be. And while it's burning down, you can even do some divination and things like that if you need some added guidance on, what's going to be my next appropriate physical step to be able to do to release this. Sandy's just saying, what a great idea. I tend to mull over things as I walk, and I have a stream on my walking track. That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah, sometimes it's the simpler stuff that will really have the most profound impact on us. So yeah, absolutely. You know, find yourself a stone, and one will certainly call to you while you're walking, and you'll just grab it. It doesn't have to be big. It can be small. Like, it's amazing how even small stones can make a big difference for us. So fantastic, Sandy. I'm so pleased. So we can also do things like, don't forget smudging and cleansing. That's certainly connected to this clearing and releasing. So you might not have anything massive that's feeling like you need to, you know, you're feeling called to work with at the 9-9. You might have already been very much working with all of that energy previously. So you're like, no, I'm not feeling like there's anything huge there. Maybe just smudging will just kind of refresh the space around me and help to uplift the space around me. And even maybe looking at doing a physical declutter can be really helpful as well. So doing a physical declutter of your house, either on the night or in the lead up to, that can make such a difference. And if you do a physical declutter, I recommend doing a smudge after the physical declutter, because it's like that will just help to shift. You know, you do that physical cleanse essentially with the declutter, and then you do that kind of spiritual cleanse by getting in with a smoke cleanse. So it doesn't have to be sage, you know, you can use your Palo Santo or kind of any combination of cleansing herbs that you like the smell of, to take through your home with that intent to cleanse and release any negative energy, and, you know, just to uplift the space and fill it with all those beautiful positive things that you'd really like your home and your space to be filled with. So these are all really ideal things to do on the night itself, or as I said, in the lead up to the night, so you kind of feel like, I'm feeling like I've actually done a lot of releasing and I've done a lot of that work. Even things like you could do chakra clearing, chakra healing. That's certainly very relevant as well, because we do a lot of clearing and rebalancing and releasing when we work with the chakras too. So anything along those lines, anything you're guided to, you're inspired to do, that is certainly going to be appropriate for this 9-9 energy. Now, I also wanted to add that sometimes we need extra support in being able to release and to let go. And so, you know, think about, if you're feeling like you need some of that extra support, think about maybe carrying some healing crystals around with you as well. Something along the lines, rose quartz is beautiful. It's one of my favorites. I wrote about on our page a few days ago. Such a healing stone, such a supportive stone. It's also really good if you're doing, you know, having a lot of stress and, you know, there's a lot of heavy stuff going on in your life. Rose quartz will really support you with all of that kind of energy as well. So such a beautiful crystal to work with. Black obsidian is another really great healing crystal. It's really good. It'll help to ground us and kind of root us back into the earth, and it will also support you in a lot of emotional stuff, especially heavy stuff like grief that we might be having to deal with at the moment. So that's a really great healing one. Carnelian is another great one that I love to reach for, which will really uplift you if you're needing to work through maybe some self-worth, self-doubt, self-confidence type stuff. Then carnelian's one of my favorites that will really support you on those levels. So, you know, maybe if you're needing to speak your truth, you know, that's a really great one to have, to kind of lift you up so that you can feel like you're in the right place to speak up and to say what you're feeling, or to set the boundaries you might need to set, all those kinds of things. And a few other healing ones, there's loads out there, but ones I felt called to mention: malachite, ocean jasper, Kambaba jasper, and moonstone are all really beautiful, supportive, healing crystals that you might feel called to. Now, malachite gets a bit full on for some people. Sometimes when you're doing a lot of healing and releasing, it can feel really ideal because it's a real strong one. But for some people, they find it can get a little bit overwhelming. So if you do reach for malachite and you find it's just getting all a bit too overwhelming, maybe put it away and reach for something different instead. Moonstone's another really good one if there's lots of emotional stuff going on, that it can really help to support you through all of those emotions and kind of, you know, understanding what you're feeling, because sometimes there's so much emotional stuff going on that it's hard to even understand you know, what am I feeling? What's going on those internal levels? So moonstone can help you in understanding those things, and so can ocean jasper and cambarba jasper as well. So beautiful crystals to work with. Don't forget things like hands-on healing too, because I find, and I'm a culprit for it too, I'm the first one to offer to do healing for others, but sometimes I just forget to do the healing on myself as well. So, you know, don't forget to put in healing to yourself, to spend time, you know, with your own hands on yourself, focusing some healing energy on you. And that can be at any time across the day, or like I love to finish the day when I'm going to sleep, I put my hands on myself and put some healing energy in. So, you know, consider if you need some healing energy, or if there's somebody perhaps in your household or somebody that you can call on to give you some healing, or even send you some distantly. That can be really effective too. So, you know, don't be shy about doing that as well. When we're releasing, we also need to fill up and to put the healing in, not just do the releasing, but do the healing as well. And lastly, if you really need to talk to somebody, you know, really don't feel like you have to handle it all on your own. So perhaps reach out to a friend, reach out to a counsellor, reach out to another healer, to be able to speak with them about what's going on. Sometimes it can be really healing just to be able to share, you know, vocalize certain things that are going on and that you're feeling overwhelmed by, and then at the end of vocalizing it, it doesn't feel like it's as big a deal as it did while it was running around in your head. So, you know, try and make time for that if you need that as well. So, you know, don't devalue just being able to vocalize sometimes as well. That can be a real powerful part of releasement too.